Ray's here. Went and picked up some parts. Actually spent all morning picking up parts. I found a guy that had the fender that I was having a hard time finding, which I thought would be the easiest part to find. As it turns out, the car's not real common, and as soon as that fender is available, it gets snatched up. So I was able to get a sweet deal on a fender and on a wheel, because that. I was even thinking about trying to fix that, which I think it's possible. I think I could have done it with some filler or whatever. But I found a pretty good deal on both of them together, which worked out awesome because the guy that I went to, at first he seemed like kind of a jerk. He goes, he had a thing on Craigslist saying he had this car and he wanted to part it out, or if the price was right to sell the whole car or whatever. So I texted him and said, hey, it was kind of an old ad. So I said, hey, do you still have the car? I'm interested, and I'm interested in some parts. And he goes, oh yeah, I have all the parts you're looking for. The fender. I was thinking about getting the mirror, but I think as it turns out, I'm able to fix the mirror, no problem. I'm not worried about that. That's actually pretty sweet, because I thought that was $85 just for a mirror anywhere else. So the guy writes back, he goes, yeah, I got all the parts you're interested in, just shoot me an offer. Well, apparently, as I found out, he buys and sells cars, so he should know when you tell someone, shoot me an offer and we'll go from there. Well, to me, that's like green light, like, okay, let's get a good deal. So, of course, I write, okay, everything I need for $100. Well, he didn't like that. He instantly wrote back, oh, you're ripping me off. And so I just wrote him back. I said, hey, I apologize. I'm still pricing out these parts. I don't really know what they go for. And, I asked what the price was. You asked for me to give you an offer. That was my offer. What do you want? And he kind of came back with some ridiculous prices at first. And then originally I was going to get all the parts, but he came back at a decent price on these two parts, on the front fender and one wheel with a tire on it. So, but it worked out cool because I went down there and he had the full car. He kind of like me. He's repairing another one just like it, and he had a hard time finding parts. So he found another one at an auction and bought it just strictly for parts. He took what he needed, and he's just trying to get rid of the car. He doesn't even want it. He said within the next week it's going to be taken to a scrapyard, and it was still a perfectly good running car. Just had some damage in the back. So he tried to sell it to me for $300, which honestly, for $300 just for the parts that I need, would have been a great deal, but I have nowhere to put it or anything, so it wouldn't work out for me. But either way, the cool part about it was that there was a lot of little parts that I needed for my car that he had right there. And I know I was hesitant to ask him at first because he was kind of a jerk before. And I go, oh, I kind of need this piece. Do you mind if I just take it? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. This thing is going to be scrapped out. Just go ahead. So I got like 4 or 5 parts that I really had. There was no way I was ever going to find it other than buying. Like, for instance, whenever it was in Copart's lot, I assume, some idiot decided to take the headlights out. Well, there's a plastic piece that goes on the back of the headlight that completely seals it in. And they just took those off and threw them in the engine bay. I found one rubbing up against the belt that was for the passenger side, and I never found the driver's side. And I'm thinking, well, I'm either going to have to buy a whole new headlight assembly, or I don't know how I'm going to find it. And the headlights have to be sealed. So I don't know where I would have got that. So I was able to get that. And the oil dipstick tube thing was broken at the top. I was able to get that. And the antenna was all rotted out on mine. His was awesome. I got that. So a few parts. And he was totally cool after that. I think he might be a connection in the future, because he does the same thing. He buys the cars at the auction, but he's got his own shop, and he's probably got 10 or 15 cars sitting around his lot. He's got a really cool setup, and his name is Ray. He actually ended up being a really cool guy, and I hope to deal with him in the future. But anyway, so enough my babbling. Here's what we got today. Bam, look at that. Quarter panel, baby. Look at that. They even left in the glass. They left in all the guts to the window. They left in the seatbelt. They left in a lot of other parts that I already have, but I think I'll be able to turn around and sell on eBay. Even if they just sit on eBay and go over and over and over again, and in 6 months someone buys them for $50, that's just money I made. This piece right here, I don't know if it's worth. I might throw that up on eBay. All these parts I could just throw up on eBay. So this is the actual fender that I'm gonna use, that I got from him. The only thing that sucks is mine's a 99, and it does not have this light right here, and this one does. So I'm gonna have to get a piece of metal and weld it in there and cover over it to get rid of that, which is unfortunate, but it's better than the alternative because I had a hard time finding this fender. It's all over the country. There's tons of them, but there's none within like 4 or 5 hours of me, and no one would ship them because they get damaged when you ship them. So I was at a loss. I didn't know what I was going to do to get this fender. You know, I got so desperate that the car that I got this quarter panel off and this door, here's the driver's side door. Probably should have unpaneled this a little bit before I got on the video, but whatever. So I got this driver's side door and the rear quarter panel from one wrecking yard. And this was the fender that was on this car. And at first when I saw it, I was like, oh sweet, that's what I need. Well, it had that damage. But I was so desperate trying to find a fender that I was literally going to take my old fender and cut this and, you know, weld the front of my old fender on here to make one, which would have saved me $50 or $60. But I'm not experienced enough yet. I'm not an experienced enough welder, and so I think I could do it, but the chances of making it turn out, plus that's a pretty good impact, so it could have bent a lot of this other stuff, which it could be bent out, but nonetheless, it's better just to have a good one that there's no doubts. So I got that bad boy, and way down in there you can see the wheel. So another thing I decided to do is, even on the two wheels on the other side are pretty good. They're not bad. They're pretty good shape actually. This one got damaged in the accident too, so it's got some scuffing, but I looked at it and it's almost exclusively on the clear coat. So I got some stuff and I'm going to remove all the clear coat. I'm going to fix all these imperfections and I'm going to re-clear coat to make, I'm going to do all four wheels. So when I'm done, this car, the wheels will look as new as the car will. So that's cool. And so other than that, I have one more thing to show you, and that is that because I'm getting ready to do all this stuff, I have been on a buying spree, essentially, of parts, tools, supplies, everything. So over the last few days that have showed up in my my front door, Amazon, such, everything. So this is all the stuff that I've been buying online and waiting for show up. A lot of it showed up. Some of it's not. Most, as of this afternoon, I have purchased every part and every part of material that I will need and every tool to complete this car, with the exception of 1-2 little things like they seem to use a lot of like a seam sealer, a special seam sealer on this car. I think for the recorder panel, and there was some kind of sealer for the front fender, so I'm going to see if I can get that. But other than that, I have everything here that I need to finish this car right now. So it's game on. First thing tomorrow morning. It's been a very long day. But anyways, so check it out. This is what I've been getting. First and foremost, I am so excited. I've been wanting one of these for years, and I finally have one. I got a freaking screaming deal on a brand new, bam, Lincoln 140 welder. So as luck would have it, I happen to be an employee of Airgas, and so whereas most people would pay, I think it's like $60 or $70 for an 80 CF bottle of argon CO2 mix. My cost is $6.83. So that's going to be pretty sweet. So I'm going to go down and get that Monday. And I even ordered a welding cart that'll be here Monday or Wednesday. Tuesday's 4th of July. So as of like Wednesday, I'm going to have a full welding setup. Oh yeah. And what? Yeah, baby. And everything else. I've been spending a lot of money, and somehow my wife has let me. She said, okay, because I've done stuff like this in the past, and she knows I'm going to make money doing this, buying and selling cars and such. Oh yeah, 4th of July is coming up, so that happened also. It's going to be fun. Anyway, so we got the body filler. We got the glaze putty, which really probably not going to need all that much because I'm not really doing a whole lot of body work as far as filling and stuff, just the seams and stuff. So I originally thought I was going to do more, but I will use that on future cars, so I'm not worried about it at all. I got the freaking stupid rivet gun so I can put the plastic piece back on there, factory style. This was another part that I probably won't even use on this build, which is kind of stupid. Just a big old slide hammer with all kinds of attachments. So some of the stuff, we got grease and wax remover for the painting. This is going to take off the clear coat on the wheels, so I can get those looking brand new, and then I'm going to clear coat those. I got some more tools and blah bitty blah bitty blah. Body saw. My little air compressor is kind of a small little piece of junk. I have to upgrade as soon as I can. So air tools are not my friend right now. So electric is the way it goes. Some lint-free towels for when we're painting. We got just, you know, the tape, the plastic, the sandpaper, all the stuff you'd expect. Oh yes, spot welder. Gonna be using that bad boy tomorrow, taking that panel off. Got the little Durablock sanding blocks stuff. So yeah, a wire wheel so I can investigate where all that stuff is, get some paint off there. So it's happening, and tomorrow morning we're gonna hit this bad boy, and we're gonna hit it hard. So I'm gonna take the quarter panel off this donor piece first, so that I know exactly how it comes off, and if I screw anything up, then worst case scenario it's $200 instead of the $300 car. But $200, and I know where I can get another one if the situation comes up. That Ray has another one that I can get, but that's not going to happen. This is all going to come off just fine. Everything's going to be great. So that's tomorrow morning. We're going to take this bad boy off, and once we have that off, obviously we're going to take that one off. And once we have all that off and ready, then I was originally going to start on the doors and the fender, getting all that stuff paint prep, but I have my welder here now. I thought it was going to be a few more days later this week till I got here, but I got my welder, so when time comes, I can weld this new panel right back on. And seriously, this build is going to go really fast. I think I'm going to get a lot done really quick. So I am pretty stoked. Things are going really good. I think that's it for today until tomorrow morning. Sorry my camera work sucks. I know. Like I said, I'm dealing with my phone, and it's really not the best. And I'm just not even that good. So hopefully half the time my face is in the frame. I'm holding my phone right this time, so hopefully the picture's, you know, full instead of that stupid little half sliver when you hold your phone the wrong way. I'll do the best I can to improve. Things will get better. If we really enjoy doing this and I end up doing it a lot, then I'm going to get a better camera set up, and, you know, I'll do it more thorough. I'll try to be as professional as I can and make it so you can enjoy watching it as much as possible. So until then, just kind of bear with me. But yeah, I'm super excited. Things are going really good. Everything went so good today. So far, every part that I've planned on buying and that I've bought for this car, when I originally started looking, I had a number set, and almost every single part without exception has been cheaper, some of them drastically cheaper than I originally thought, just by fluke situations. I got it cheaper than the going rate, and just I lucked out so many times. So far this build is off to a great start. Things are going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that quarter panel come off and just get cranking on this thing. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, keep tuned in. All right.